Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Jason Constantine was a man who believed in stories and made it his life's work to bring the boldest ones to screen. As co-president of the Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, Jason shaped the modern film landscape with vision, courage, and a deep love for cinema. His fingerprints are found on some of the most influential and successful franchises in recent decades, including John Wick, Saw, and The Expendables. Born and raised in California, Jason was a lifelong film enthusiast. He earned his degree from Princeton and later an MFA in film production from Loyola Marymount University. He started at Trimark Pictures and steadily rose through the ranks, eventually becoming a cornerstone of Lionsgate's creative team for over 25 years. His intuition was legendary, spotting promise in a short film by a then-unknown James Wan and turning Saw into a global phenomenon. But behind the scenes, Jason fought a quiet and courageous battle with cancer. Even as he faced personal health challenges, his dedication to storytelling never wavered. He remained a fierce advocate for bold ideas and creative risk-takers, helping to launch films like Crash, Precious, Knives Out, and Cabin in the Woods, movies that surprised, challenged, and moved audiences around the world. Jason Constantine passed away at 55 after a long illness, surrounded by the love of his family. He is survived by his wife Kristen and their sons Lucas, Xander, and Nicholas. His legacy lives not just in the box office successes he championed, but in the belief that great storytelling can come from anywhere, and that when nurtured with care, it can leave a lasting mark on the world. Maurice Wapani was a bright spirit who left her mark through the honesty of her performances and the warmth of her presence. Best known for her role as Ellie in Soldier Soldier, and for appearances in beloved series like Xena, Warrior Princess, Hercules, and Shortland Street, Maurice brought sincerity and depth to every role she played. Her screen time may have varied, but her impact was lasting. Born on June 6, 1964, in Ponsonby, New Zealand, Maurice's journey began with an unexpected invitation to enter the Miss New Zealand pageant. Though she placed runner-up in 1983, her heart was never in the spotlight of competition. It was in storytelling. That passion led her to acting, where she quickly became a familiar face in New Zealand film and television. From early roles on The Billy T. James Show to her work in Came a Hot Friday, she earned a reputation as a genuine and grounded performer. In 1987, Maurice became one of the first presenters of Lotto New Zealand, affectionately known as the Lotto Lady. But she eventually stepped away from the spotlight, returning to acting with quiet resilience and humility. Her later years were spent embracing simplicity, working in hospitality, while continuing to appear in smaller film projects. Maurice passed peacefully on her 61st birthday, surrounded by family and friends. While the cause of her passing was not publicly disclosed, her final message was filled with humor and grace. A quote from Driving Miss Daisy, capturing her spirit in just a few words. She will be remembered not only for her talent, but for her authenticity, her laughter, and her ability to touch lives both on and off the screen. Breaking news. Today we explore the astonishing journey of one of Hollywood's most enduring and enigmatic stars, Keanu Reeves. Known not only for his iconic roles but also for his humility, resilience, and emotional strength, Keanu's story is a powerful reminder of how inner strength can shape a legendary career. What are your most memorable moments of Keanu Reeves on screen? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we reflect on the highs, the hardships, and the healing that define his legacy. Keanu Charles Reeves, born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, and raised in Toronto, Canada, has spent over 4 decades in the entertainment industry, evolving from a quirky teen actor into a global action legend. But beyond the box office successes lies a man who has quietly endured personal loss, physical injury, and professional doubt, all with remarkable grace. Reeves first captured public attention in the late 1980s with the cult classic Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. With his relaxed demeanor and natural charisma, he became a favorite among younger audiences. However, it was his role as Jack Traven in the 1994 action hit Speed that propelled him into the mainstream spotlight. Just 5 years later, he would cement his status as a cinematic icon through the role of Neo in The Matrix trilogy, a character that redefined sci-fi cinema and cultural conversation. Yet Keanu's path has never been without detours. Early in life, he was diagnosed with dyslexia, which made academic progress difficult. He found refuge in sports and acting, eventually leaving school to pursue the latter. After a brief flirtation with fame in the 1990s, Keanu faced a career lull in the early 2000s, with critics questioning his range and depth. But those who doubted him underestimated his resilience. In 2014, Keanu stunned the world once more with his return as John Wick, a brooding, relentless anti-hero who reignited the modern action genre. The series became a cultural phenomenon, celebrated for its choreography, world-building, and emotional undertones. Reeves, performing most of his own stunts, showcased a level of physical and emotional commitment that few of his peers matched. But the physicality of John Wick came with a cost. In 2024, while filming the comedy Good Fortune, Keanu suffered a severe knee injury that fractured his kneecap. Describing it later with dry humor as having his kneecap shattered like a potato, he was forced to walk with a cane during recovery. This was not the first time his body had been pushed to its limits. After completing John Wick Chapter 4, Keanu confessed that he had not returned to the gym for over a year, needing time to restore his physical well-being. His commitment to authenticity extends beyond the screen. Despite the demanding nature of his roles, Keanu remains committed to his craft through rigorous preparation, martial arts training, and a deep respect for storytelling. He often uses downtime between projects for physical therapy and mindfulness practices, emphasizing long-term wellness over short-term spectacle. Keanu's emotional endurance is just as compelling as his physical strength. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, he endured a heartbreaking series of personal losses. His daughter was stillborn, and shortly after, his former partner Jennifer Syme lost her life in a tragic car accident. These events left a deep emotional scar. Yet rather than retreat from the world, Keanu channeled his grief into compassion and introspection, often supporting causes quietly and avoiding the spotlight when not on set. He is known for his humble lifestyle, riding public transportation, donating millions from his earnings to behind-the-scenes crew, and treating fans and colleagues with uncommon respect. While many Hollywood figures use fame as a platform for ego, Keanu wields his with care and gratitude. Most recently, Keanu made headlines for a different kind of performance, his stage debut on Broadway. In 2025, he and longtime friend Alex Winter reunited in a production of Waiting for Godot, offering audiences a more introspective and intimate side of the actor. The performance was not just a return to his theatrical roots, but also a personal milestone, demonstrating his range beyond action heroes and tech saviors. Through every chapter, Keanu has navigated controversy with dignity. Unlike many of his peers, he remains almost untouched by scandal. He rarely speaks publicly about politics or contentious social issues, preferring to let his work and actions reflect his values. The only minor controversy occurred when some of his films were removed from Chinese streaming platforms after he participated in a Tibetan charity concert. an act that highlighted his quiet alignment with human rights without sensationalism. Keanu's life today remains a careful balance of creativity and recovery. Though whispers of a potential John Wick 5 continue to swirl, Reeves has expressed hesitancy, citing concerns over whether his body can endure another round of punishing action scenes. Still, fans cling to hope, and Keanu, ever the professional, leaves the door open. As he continues to evolve, both professionally and personally, Keanu Reeves stands as a rare figure in modern entertainment, a man of few words but immense depth. His story is not just one of cinematic triumph, but of healing, humility, and quiet perseverance. What moments from Keanu's journey have resonated most with you? Has his story of resilience inspired you in your own life? Share your reflections in the comments below and join us in celebrating a life and career defined not just by fame, but by quiet strength and timeless humanity. Thank you for joining us in honoring the remarkable journey of Keanu Reeves. If his story moved you, do not forget to like this video and subscribe for more tributes to the icons who continue to shape our world with grace, grit, and generosity. Kathleen Hughes, the golden-haired actress who brought glamour and grit to 1950s Hollywood and beyond, passed away on May 19, 2025, at the age of 96. With a signature scream and timeless beauty, Kathleen became a standout in classic films like It Came from Outer Space, capturing the imagination of audiences in the early days of 3D cinema. Born Elizabeth Margaret von Gurkan in Los Angeles in 1928, Kathleen defied early doubts about her height and quickly proved her star power. She signed with Fox Studios and later Universal, appearing in over 30 films, including The Glass Web, The Golden Blade, For Men Only, and Three Bad Sisters. Whether playing a feisty co-ed, a glamorous companion, or a scheming sister, she brought charisma, humor, and presence to every scene. Though best remembered for her iconic scream in It Came from Outer Space, Kathleen's true legacy lies in the lasting joy she brought to generations of movie lovers. Her image, arms raised in dramatic surprise, became one of the most recognized film stills of the 1950s, used in everything from birthday cards to art exhibits, a testament to her unforgettable style. Beyond the screen, Kathleen shared nearly 6 decades of love and partnership with producer Stanley Rubin, raising a family and remaining a beloved figure in the entertainment world. She often reflected on her career with gratitude and a wink of humor, never losing touch with the wonder of old Hollywood. Kathleen Hughes lived a life of beauty, talent, and laughter, a radiant star whose legacy continues to light up the silver screen. Peter Kuang, a dedicated actor, martial artist, and tireless advocate for diversity in Hollywood, passed away peacefully in his sleep on May 27, 2025, at the age of 73. With a career that spanned nearly 5 decades, Peter left behind a legacy defined by strength, artistry, and unwavering integrity. Born in Sacramento, California, on April 9, 1952, Peter's journey began with television roles in classics like Wonder Woman, Little House on the Prairie, Miami Vice, and The A-Team. But it was his electrifying performance as Rain, one of the legendary 3 storms in Big Trouble in Little China, that cemented his place in cult cinema history. He also brought memorable energy to The Golden Child and remained a familiar face in film and television through the 2020s. Peter was more than a performer. He was a leader. He served on the boards of SAG, AFTRA, and the Television Academy, and lent his voice to important causes, including fighting anti-Asian stereotyping in entertainment. His activism and leadership helped pave the way for greater inclusion and respect across the industry. Off-screen, Peter was known for his kindness, discipline, and sense of humor. A skilled martial artist and dancer, he brought grace and authenticity to every role he played. Friends and colleagues described him as a gentleman who stood firmly for what he believed in, always willing to lift others along the way. Peter Kuang's life was one of purpose, passion, and pride. His contributions to the arts and to the communities he served will continue to resonate. He leaves behind not only a legacy on screen, but a lasting impact in the hearts of those he inspired. Jean Marsh, a celebrated British actress, writer, and creator, was born in 1934 in London, England. From modest beginnings as the daughter of a barmaid and a newspaper pressman, Jean found strength in the arts, developing a deep love for performance and storytelling. That passion carried her from dancing schools to Broadway stages and eventually into the homes and hearts of audiences across the world. Her most iconic role came as Rose Buck, the quietly dignified maid in the groundbreaking television drama Upstairs, Downstairs, which she co-created. Airing in the 1970s, the series offered an honest and human look at both the wealthy and the working class, and earned Jean an Emmy Award in 1975. Her portrayal of Rose resonated deeply with viewers for its grace and authenticity, and the series remains one of Britain's most beloved television exports. Throughout her career, Jean faced considerable challenges. As a young girl, she experienced temporary paralysis and Bell's palsy, setbacks that would have discouraged many. Later in life, a mild stroke and advancing memory issues limited her screen time. Yet Jean continued to work, write novels, and even return to the role of Rose in the show's 2010 revival, proving her unwavering dedication to the craft. Jean Marsh passed away peacefully at the age of 90 due to complications related to dementia. Her journey, marked by resilience, creativity, and a quiet, enduring strength, left an indelible mark on television and theater. To those who admired her work, she will always be remembered as a storyteller who gave voice to those often left unheard, and as a woman of extraordinary talent and heart. Alice Tan Ridley, born in 1952 in Charles Junction, Georgia, found her calling not under the bright lights of a stage, but in the echoing tunnels of the New York City subway. For decades, her powerful gospel and R&B vocals uplifted the hearts of commuters rushing through Union Square and Times Square. Singing songs like At Last and I Will Always Love You, she became a hidden treasure until the world finally caught up. In 2010, at the age of 58, Alice stepped into the national spotlight with her unforgettable audition on America's Got Talent. Her stirring performance took her to the semifinals, captivating millions with a voice rich in soul and shaped by years of perseverance. That same year, she released her homemade CD, Spread Your Wings, and in 2016, she debuted her first studio album, Never Lost My Way, filled with songs that reflected her personal journey. But Alice's path wasn't always easy. A former special education teacher, she faced job loss, divorce, and the challenge of raising 2 children as a single mother. Singing in the subway wasn't just a passion. It was a way to provide, to survive, and to shine despite the odds. She continued performing into her 60s, touring across the US and internationally until retiring in 2018 due to health issues related to dementia. Alice Tan Ridley passed away in New York on March 25, 2025, at the age of 72. To those who heard her sing, whether in a crowded subway or on a national stage, she offered something rare and beautiful, a reminder that talent, grace, and hope can rise from the most unexpected places. Cian Barbara Allen, born in 1946 in Reading, Pennsylvania, found her voice early through storytelling and the stage. A scholarship to the Pasadena Playhouse launched her acting journey, and before long, she became one of Universal Studios' last contract players. With grace and sincerity, she lit up both television and film screens during the 1970s and 80s. Audiences will remember her for her unforgettable roles in Scream, Pretty Peggy, alongside Bette Davis, and You'll Like My Mother, a performance that earned her a Golden Globe nomination in 1973. She appeared in beloved series such as The Waltons, Columbo, and The Rockford Files, where her gentle strength and quiet presence always rang true. In 1978, she became the first woman to write an episode of Beretta, showing that her talents extended beyond acting. Behind the camera, Sian faced life's challenges with courage. She eventually stepped away from Hollywood to focus on her family and her values, advocating for justice and giving her time to community campaigns. Despite the hardships, she found joy in her daughter Emily, her grandson Arlo, and in the simple things that made life rich and meaningful. In her final years, Sian lived peacefully in North Carolina, surrounded by nature and those she loved most. She passed away on March 31, 2025, after a long journey with Alzheimer's, leaving behind not only cherished memories, but also a legacy of quiet strength, artistry, and compassion. Sian Barbara Allen will be remembered for the light she brought to every role and the love she carried into every chapter of her life. Lynn Taylor Corbett, born in 1946 in Denver, Colorado, found her rhythm early, first in music through her pianist mother, then in movement, where she discovered her voice through dance. At just 17, she moved to New York City, stepping into the world of ballet, Broadway, and beyond, determined to bring joy and understanding through the language of choreography. Though she began as a dancer, including 2 seasons with the legendary Alvin Ailey Company, it was choreography that became her calling. Her groundbreaking ballet, Great Galloping Gottschalk, and Broadway hits like Swing, and Titanic made her a name known to theater lovers nationwide. Her work on Footloose brought dance to the heart of 1980s cinema, teaching Kevin Bacon the now iconic moves that defined a generation. Lynn's career spanned Broadway stages, film sets, and ballet studios worldwide. Her creations balanced entertainment with emotional depth, works filled with stories of love, struggle, joy, and redemption. A rare woman leading in a male-dominated field, she inspired countless dancers and creators to follow their own rhythm. Despite personal challenges, including a decades-long battle with breast cancer, Lynn never lost her passion for storytelling through dance. Her later years were filled with mentorship, new works like the Native American-themed Distant Thunder, and time with her son, Sean, himself a performer and collaborator. Lynn Taylor Corbett passed on January 12, 2025, with her legacy rooted in movement and meaning. Her work reminded us that dance is not just something to watch, but something to feel. And through her art, she helped the world feel a little more connected. Alfa Anderson, born on September 7, 1947, carried a voice that became the heartbeat of a musical era. Best known as the lead vocalist of the iconic disco band Chic, she brought to life hits like Le Freak, Good Times, and At Last I Am Free, songs that defined dance floors across generations and continue to inspire joy today. Before the spotlight, Alfa was an educator with a master's degree, passionate about both learning and music. Her journey into the music world took flight after her Carnegie Hall debut in Cannonball Adderley's Big Man and a starring role at Lincoln Center. A pivotal moment came in 1977 when Luther Vandross introduced her to Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards, leading to her place in Chic's core lineup and a lasting legacy in music history. Through the highs of touring the world and recording chart-topping hits, Alfa remained grounded. She faced the challenges of a shifting music industry with resilience, adapting and flourishing as a background vocalist for legends like Diana Ross, Mick Jagger, and Bryan Adams. In 2017, she returned to center stage with Music from My Heart, a solo album that revealed the depth of her artistry. Later in life, Alfa returned to her roots in education, earning another master's degree and serving as a principal, where she inspired countless young minds with her wisdom, spirit, and warmth. Alfa Anderson passed on December 17, 2024, at the age of 78. Though the cause was not disclosed, her impact is everlasting. Her voice echoed with joy, her presence radiated kindness, and her story is one of brilliance, strength, and unwavering soul. Dale Wilson, the beloved Canadian voice actor, left a legacy that resonates far beyond the characters he portrayed. Born with a deep, expressive voice and a passion for storytelling, Dale brought life to some of animation's most memorable characters. To fans across generations, he wasn't just a performer, he was a trusted presence, a guiding voice through the worlds of action, imagination, and emotion. Dale's work as the voice of Cell in the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball Z remains iconic. He also gave voice to characters like Kami, King Yemma, and Android 8, each imbued with his signature depth and gravitas. Beyond anime, he was a cornerstone of North American animation, portraying Capti, Gridiron and others in G.I. Joe, Akuma in Street Fighter, and Principal Kelly in X-Men: Evolution. Every role he touched carried heart, power, and an unmistakable sense of presence. His journey wasn't without difficulty. Dale faced years of health challenges with metastasized prostate cancer and Parkinson's disease. But through it all, he remained dedicated to his craft, to his colleagues, and to the community he helped uplift. As a proud advocate for performers, his efforts with the Union of British Columbia Performers improved working conditions for countless artists. Dale Wilson passed away at the age of 74, surrounded by love. In the words of his wife Gale, he was a North Star, a steady light, a guiding soul. For fans and peers alike, Dale's voice lives on, not only in the roles he portrayed, but in the inspiration he gave, the kindness he shared, and the stories he helped tell. Arnold Yarrow, born in London in 1920, lived a life that spanned more than a century, and each chapter was rich with artistry, intellect, and resilience. As an actor, playwright, screenwriter, and wartime veteran, he embodied the quiet strength of a generation shaped by history and driven by purpose. Best remembered by many for his masked role as Bilal in the 1974 Doctor Who episode Death to the Daleks, Arnold brought warmth and depth to a character audiences never even saw. Beneath layers of costume and limited vision, he studied animals in the zoo to convey emotion through movement alone, an artist's devotion in its purest form. Viewers of EastEnders would later see his expressive face as Benny Bloom, whose tender courtship of Ethel captured hearts. Beyond the screen, Arnold had a parallel legacy as a gifted writer. He penned episodes for EastEnders, Softly Softly, and Crown Court, blending sharp dialogue with poignant social themes. Whether tackling race relations or justice, he believed storytelling should reflect the complexity of real life. "I have a tape recorder ear," he once said, "and that brings the gift of producing good dialogue." Arnold faced his early years with determination, losing his father at age 8, serving in WTOs, and eventually finding a home in theater and television. He was a steady presence at the Royal Shakespeare Company and a familiar voice in radio, known for his eloquence and integrity. Arnold Yarrow passed away in December 2024 at the age of 104. With every role, every word, and every thoughtful gesture, he left a legacy of quiet brilliance, one that will continue to inspire long after the final curtain. Colin Barry, a beloved voice in British broadcasting, spent over 4 decades shaping the sound of national radio. Born in Hertfordshire in 1944, his path began in the golden age of radio, joining pirate station Radio Caroline in 1965. With a voice that could calm, inform, and entertain, Colin quickly became a trusted presence across the airwaves. He joined the BBC in 1969 and became a permanent part of BBC Radio 2 in 1973. For nearly 40 years, he was the station's steady, familiar voice, reading the news, presenting shows, and stepping in for legends like Sir Terry Wogan. Audiences knew him not only for his professionalism, but for the warmth he brought to every broadcast. Even beyond radio, Colin made his mark on British television, appearing on The Generation Game, Top of the Pops, Blankety Blank, and more. He was also the UK's Eurovision jury spokesperson for 25 years, sharing in the joy of music with millions each year. Colin faced the later years of his life with quiet strength, stepping back from regular broadcasting in 2012 after budget cuts at the BBC and battling dementia in his final chapter. He passed in April 2024 at age 79, leaving behind a legacy not only of a remarkable career, but of kindness and sincerity. To those who grew up with the gentle rhythm of his voice, Colin Barry was more than a broadcaster. He was a companion in quiet mornings and late-night drives. His calm presence and unwavering professionalism will long be remembered, echoing in the hearts of listeners who knew him simply as the voice of trust. Emily Dequesne, born in Beloy, Belgium in 1981, lived a life filled with artistry, courage, and grace. From the moment she appeared on screen as the fierce young lead in Rosetta at just 18 years old, Emily captivated audiences around the world. Her raw, authentic performance earned her the prestigious Best Actress Award at the Cannes Film Festival in 1999, a moment that marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Over the next 2 decades, Emily carved out a remarkable career, moving seamlessly between acclaimed art house films and powerful mainstream dramas. She starred alongside legends like Catherine Deneuve in The Girl on the Train and delivered haunting depth in Our Children, which once again brought her Cannes acclaim. Her ability to convey strength and vulnerability made her unforgettable in every role she touched. Off-screen, Emily carried herself with quiet determination and dignity. In 2023, she shared her diagnosis of a rare adrenal gland cancer with the world. She fought with resilience and even celebrated a period of remission in 2024, before her health declined once more. Emily Dequesne passed away on March 16, 2025, at the age of 43, surrounded by her loved ones. Though her time was far too short, her legacy is profound. She leaves behind a body of work that continues to inspire, and memories of a woman whose light, both on screen and off, will never dim. She is remembered by her husband Michel Faraci, her daughter Milla, and the countless hearts she touched through her passion, talent, and spirit. Breaking news. Few stars in Hollywood shine as brightly or as consistently as Goldie Hawn. Known for her effervescent charm and comedic brilliance, she lit up screens for decades. But behind that iconic smile is a woman whose journey is rich with personal struggle, self-discovery, and a passionate commitment to mental health. What do you think has been Goldie Hawn's greatest contribution? Her unforgettable films, or her fierce advocacy for emotional well-being? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we explore her enduring legacy and the health challenges she has navigated with unwavering grace. Born on November 21, 1945 in Washington, D.C., Goldie Hawn never intended to become a movie star. In fact, her first passion was dance. She trained as a ballet dancer and began teaching at just 19 years old. But destiny had other plans. Her breakthrough came in the late 1960s when she became the bubbly breakout star of Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, a sketch comedy series that catapulted her to fame. With her giggle and wide-eyed wonder, she quickly became a national treasure. Then came Cactus Flower in 1969, a performance that would earn her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress and solidify her place in Hollywood's Golden Circle. Yet the fame that followed brought something far more complicated: anxiety, panic attacks, and emotional overwhelm. Goldie has candidly revealed that during this period she felt paralyzed by fear. Despite the applause and accolades, she was struggling internally. "I was deeply anxious. I would wake up and not want to face the day," she shared in an emotional interview. It was a startling revelation from someone who seemed to embody joy. But that contrast became the root of her evolution. Goldie did not run from her inner turmoil. Instead, she faced it head-on, working with professionals for nearly a decade to rebuild her sense of self and peace of mind. This intimate battle became the foundation for something far greater than any film role: Goldie Hawn's advocacy for mental wellness. In 2003, she founded Mind Up, a nonprofit educational program aimed at helping children understand and manage their emotions. Rooted in neuroscience, the program teaches children how their brains work, how to build emotional resilience, and how to find focus through mindfulness and gratitude. Today, Mind Up has reached over 7 million children across the globe, transforming classrooms and lives. But Goldie never fully stepped away from entertainment. She continued to choose projects that reflected her values and brought families together. Private Benjamin, 1980, was a landmark not just for its humor, but because Goldie co-produced the film at a time when women behind the camera were almost unheard of. Her blend of strength and sweetness made the character iconic and opened new doors for women in Hollywood. In 1983, she met Kurt Russell on the set of Swing Shift, and their connection was instant. Though they had met years earlier, this time was different. Since then, they have built a life together that has defied the odds. In an industry where relationships often crumble, theirs has flourished for over 40 years without marriage and without scandal. "We chose each other every day," Goldie once said. Their mutual respect, independence, and shared devotion to family have been the bedrock of their union. Their on-screen chemistry in Overboard and later in the Christmas Chronicles reminded fans of the magic they share both on and off the screen. And behind the scenes, they have raised a blended family of talented children and now enjoy the company of grandchildren, 3 of whom recently worked with Goldie on an animated short film about emotions titled Brain Buddies, released in 2025. Even in recent public appearances, Goldie continues to radiate positivity, though she remains honest about the aging process. During the 2025 Oscars, she made headlines when she jokingly said she could not read the teleprompter. "I am completely blind," she quipped with a smile, referencing her cataracts. The moment was lighthearted, but revealed a glimpse into the very real physical changes she faces with age. Rather than hiding them, Goldie has leaned into transparency and humor, making these experiences relatable rather than shameful. Her approach to aging is holistic. She practices mindfulness daily, engages in regular movement, eats a balanced diet, and surrounds herself with love. But perhaps more than anything, she protects her peace. "Silence is powerful," she once said. "It gives you space to hear your own thoughts, to connect with who you really are." Goldie's commitment to mental well-being is not performative. It is deeply personal. She frequently speaks out about the mental health crisis among youth, encouraging parents to care for their own minds so they can better support their children. Her life's mission now extends beyond Hollywood to schools, homes, and communities worldwide. Despite being a household name, Goldie Hawn has remarkably avoided the controversies that often shadow celebrities of her stature. She does not use social media for hot takes. She rarely speaks politically. Instead, she focuses on compassion, education, and unity. Even when misunderstood, as in the Oscars moment, she responds with grace, knowing that her legacy is defined by far more than a headline. Looking ahead, Goldie continues to write, produce, and inspire. Her foundation is expanding into more countries, and she is mentoring the next generation, including her own grandchildren, in how to balance ambition with mental clarity. She may have stepped back from the film spotlight, but her influence has only deepened. So, where is Goldie Hawn now? She is right where she has always been, in the hearts of millions, not just for making them laugh, but for teaching them how to feel. Her journey is a reminder that true beauty comes not from perfection, but from honesty. That strength does not always shout. It often speaks softly, through action and compassion. What is your favorite Goldie Hawn moment, from her unforgettable performances to her uplifting life lessons? Share it in the comments, and let us honor a woman whose laughter and light continue to guide us all. If her story has touched you, please like this video and subscribe for more heartfelt tributes to the legends of our time. Let us celebrate the radiant journey of Goldie Hawn together.